So, how are you, man? Like, how are you? How are you doing with everything that's happening with the COVID-19?
I'd say I'm doing pretty good. Like I've just been super productive. Like I've probably done more than I have when there wasn't a pandemic. So
Right.
I've actually like utilized that to the best of my ability and just like pumping out videos and content and everything because when everything was normal, right? You get so caught up in all the other stuff and then you don't put as much effort into it. So I guess that's like the one major positive of the whole thing for myself. But how are you doing?
I'm good, man. And I can relate to that. Like, yeah, there's things that, we really want to do, or, we want the gym to open and we want access to so many things that we had before. But I kind of, bringing up what you kind of said and a video that I was watching, there's this woman, I actually had her on my podcast maybe 3 weeks ago, and she was mentioning about how this pandemic's happening, but there's going to be so much good that's going to come out of it. In a sense, like that sounds bad, but I don't really think it is, because like, so how I can relate to that is, so for me, like, yeah, I can still work out at home, but I also, when I think about it, I'm not spending as much money as I used to. Um, and in return, yeah, I'm not doing as much, but I mean, it kind of helps you realize what you need and what you don't really need. um, and also, yeah, and because I've been making so much more videos, so not just am I pumping out my podcast, but I'm making more of my tribute videos. It's something that, before I even made podcasts, it was something that I've done since I was a teenager, and I just got better and better as I did it. So it's just something that I kind of rediscovered because I have the free time, as you said. So it's nice that way.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Like it just like the money saving part, just solely on that, probably saved about $400 a month, which is pretty crazy. And like,
Really.
yeah, it sucks. You're stuck inside and everything. But if you're actually using that time to be productive, like I think me and you both are, then I think it's worth it. But if you're just spending the money somewhere else, like a lot of people, are doing online shopping. So, that $400 that someone could save would just go to like clothes and booze, stuff like that. But if you're actually like saving it, like I think you are, then I think it's a good thing in a financial sense.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like for me, like I got some money from the government, obviously, just because of, like, I'm not working as much as I normally would, just because
Hmm.
I couldn't work at some of my other contracts, with my other employments, just because they didn't want us to kind of like cross. I guess I don't want to use the word cross pollinate, but like they just didn't want us to like go from one job to the other, just to eliminate the risk of transmission.
Yeah.
So that I kind of got money from the government that way. But even at that, like, if I hadn't gotten the 4 grand that I got in the 2 months, like I still would have had like 4 grand in my account, whether you're there. So like it's been kind of nice to know that I have that kind of money. But I know once everything goes
Yeah.
back to normal, I'll be going out more again. And but I don't know. I
Yeah.
think maybe it might help me realize that maybe I don't have to go out all the time. It's okay to stay in and do that. Um, but yeah, so I guess you were kind of mentioning you're doing more of your videos now. I guess I want to kind of start from the beginning of that. So what is that, like? What is it that made you decide to start doing the videos, at least for your Austin Medz channel?
Yeah. Like, I guess I'll start from the beginning too. Like, I liked YouTube probably when it first came out in like 2008. And, since that, I was always watching videos and posting totally random videos. Like, I know I started out, I don't even know what the channel name was, but I was posting like Nerf gun videos. And
Okay.
those started picking up a little bit of an audience when I was little. I was probably like 10. And I've always been someone who really likes movies, film, photography, that kind of stuff. And throughout the years, I would just post totally random. And then I think once I hit around like the 1920 like year mark, I was like, okay, like all these people are making a living doing what they actually like to do. So, I watch channels talking about like movies, I watch gaming channels, I watch film and photography channels, and I was like, okay, these people are all getting paid to do what they absolutely love. they get passive income, which is a huge thing for me because I absolutely hate the idea of like clocking in and getting paid for 1 hour of your life, essentially. Like you're just trading in your life for money. And YouTube allows you to have that passive income. So, for example, a video that I posted like 5 years ago can still pay me today as long as people are watching it. And I thought that was just a really, really cool concept. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to branch out. I'm going to make like mini subcategories of channels and then basically branch out into my passions. So I have two channels right now that I'm working on. So one is the Austin Medz channel, like you mentioned, and that one is more of like a almost like an overall lifestyle channel. So it originally was fitness only, but I was like, okay, I don't want to be limited to only fitness. So it branched off into like fitness, mindset, just like everyday things that can help people and not just physically. And I thought that was a really, really cool idea because I haven't seen any channels do like that whole broad spectrum. So I was like, okay, this is something new. I haven't really seen this before, and this could be something really, really cool. And that's also fun to film because it's almost like documenting your life. So all of your memories are online, and I can watch videos from like 2 years ago and be like, oh my God, like that's what I did 2 years ago. That's how I felt. That's what I was thinking. Just watching you progress as a human, watching those videos, I thought was really, really cool. And then the other channel, which I showed you the other day, was the Austin Talks channel. That one is another passion of mine, which is technology and film. So I have that channel, which that one is like blowing up over the quarantine. It's got like, I think my watch time went up by 111% or something like that.
Oh,
Views are up 112%. So it's been a crazy, crazy month, but that's kind of like the whole YouTube journey in a nutshell for me.
right. Well, it's good, man. Like for me, yeah, like I'm not. I've always thought about. I think I told you before. I always been kind of wanting to do things like that, but I don't think I would. I don't think it's really realistic for me. We all have lives, right? And I mean, if it was something that I wanted to kind of stick to, I think it would be something that I'd have to do. Like it would have to be something I would have to stick to when everything was back to normal. And I just don't think that's realistic because I work. I have like 3 or 4 jobs. So I guess I'll explain what I do. So I work for community living, and then on top of community living, I have a contract in Wallsburg, and I do this program through community living, and it's basically kind of like doing like a kind of like a separate contract just with a person. So
Mhm.
I did a couple people, and so when I'm doing all that, I'm going all over the place. So that kind of gets busy, and it's hard to kind of keep up with it. Like if I were to like film what I'm doing, like that'd just be really really difficult for me.
Yeah.
And I'm already stressed out. Trying to get to all my jobs, and then working out at the gym just in general. So I don't think that'd be realistic, but it has crossed my mind before. So um, props to you for doing that because I know that you're probably a pretty busy guy. Like um, just from the looks of it, you seem like you're not the guy that just sits around all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, but yeah, so I just correct me if I'm wrong, but you were like basically like a personal trainer at the gym, right? At Good Life.
Yeah. 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 I was at Good Life there. I think it was around like 7, 8 months that I was working there.
Okay. Now, did you quit because of or like was it the pandemic that stopped you from working there, or did you quit and go somewhere else?
So I quit, I think it was like September time around there.
Okay.
It had nothing to do with pandemic or anything. It was more of I started realizing where I want to work and not just working for the money. Like I actually want to enjoy going there. And
Hmm.
something that I found with the work culture at my location specifically was that it was pretty toxic. Like there was a lot of, gossip and negativity going on behind the scenes. And, once you acknowledge that that exists, you kind of change the perspective on that workplace and you don't perform as well and you're not really happy to be there. You're just kind of clocking in, clocking out. And that's not what I wanted to do. So, because I find my work, like if you're going to work 40-ish years of your lifetime before you retire, I want to at least enjoy that. And that's why I've been so focused on the YouTube thing is because I love doing that. But back to the good life, I just didn't like it. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna, be miserable every single day going to work. So I just left. And then I went to Apple And Apple's been awesome. Work culture is crazy, employee benefits crazy. Everything about it is just very, very different, and obviously in a good way. And I think it was just kind of cool that I went from like that fitness aspect, which went to one of my YouTube channels. It's kind of ironic. And then I went to the tech space, which is my other YouTube channel. So the two jobs I've had in the past year have like fueled my passions, which are my side hustles right now. And I thought that was pretty cool.
That's sweet, man. So you said that you work for Apple. Like, so what is it that you would do there, or do you actually work at the store? Is that what you?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. It's kind of funny too, because it's literally down the road from my good life. Like it's probably 150 meters away.
okay,
Like,
that's perfect.
yeah,
So
super easy transition.
were you still working out at Good Life, or because I know there was another gym that you did go to. I just can't remember the name.
Yeah. Yeah, so I when I was working out or when I was working at Good Life, I was working out there as well. And then when I left, I ended up moving to Movati, which was an older gym. I think it was the first Movati in all of Canada, actually. So it was like rare, very, very old, like equipment wise and everything. But it was a nice gym too. A lot of old people, and they're all really nice. So it was a different feeling for sure.
Well, that's all right. I mean, like, you know what? I guess I have like respect for going to an old style kind of gym, especially if you have all the old weights, because like, you know,
Yeah,
if you tend to go to some other gyms, like more modern gyms, a lot of the plates are all like they have like the plastic coating around, or they
yeah,
have like the plastic going around all the weights. So when you hear like the crashing of like the metal weights, it just gives that like gym
oh
feel.
yeah,
It's like for me, it's like going into like like a gym, like a MMA gym, and you can hear everyone like just hitting all the pads together. That's how I kind
yeah,
of compare it to. It's that genuine gym kind of sound,
yeah,
and it kind of blows my mind. Um, and you know, like I get it, like every gym's got to have their own rules, but it just kind of blows my mind when you have a gym like Planet Fitness that they have the rule you can't grunt, you can't
yeah,
make noises, you can't drop weights. But I mean, at the end of the day, like if say, you know, let's say if they did have racks and people are squatting or people are doing deadlifts, like you know, you can't really expect people to lift 300 pounds and just easily just let it go on the ground. Like that's not really
yeah.
realistic. And I mean, the grunting, like I get that. I get that, you know, like if you're excessively grunting, you know, just to get yourself pumped up, like, yeah, you know, people don't need to hear that. But I get it because I mean, I've done that. So I know the energy it takes and it gets, you know, it gets tiring. So yeah, but like going back to the whole old gyms, you know, like I think I totally respect that, and I think they need to keep that kind of thing open. Like they need to keep gyms like that
Yeah,
open because I think uh, you know, a lot of people still really enjoy that kind of genuine old school kind of gym kind of feeling.
yeah, man, absolutely. Like I love that. Like the first dungeon style gym is what I'll call it. That I went to is called Flex. It's like just down the road from my house. It was like all old school weights, bang and clang. Like everyone could make noise, do whatever they want. And that's like a bodybuilder gym. And I
Oh,
absolutely love that atmosphere, like the old style weights. Like if they're falling off of the actual handle and everything, that's how you know they're good. They've aged a little bit. So yeah, I really like that. And like in the future, I do want to own a gym, and I want to have like a gym that kind of splits down the middle. And I want to have like a old school and new school. So it's going to be like an old style, like gold standard type of gym. And then on the other side, have like a more modern gym with the plastic weights and everything. And I think that'd be really cool because people could choose, which one they want to use. I think it'd be a cool concept.
hey, I mean, you know you got to do what you're passionate about, and you know you never stop following your dreams. You know, and I think the ideal thing, and it's not just gonna be me saying this. I think a lot of people are probably thinking this and are gonna plan this out next time. But I think this whole pandemic thing was a wake up call, and not just for me, like I said, but for other people as well. And I think next time, because this year I was planning on moving out, so I was planning on buying a condo in Chatham, and but you know, things happen, and I was like getting ready to get pre-approved for a mortgage, and then start kind of
Yep.
viewing what I could, you know, what I could potentially get. And then everything happened. But you know, when I maybe like when I buy a house down the future, like I have a girlfriend and everything, and I don't want to like bring that up because I don't want to go far in the future. But like I do have plans when I buy myself a house. One thing I really want to do is just renovate the whole basement, just make it a gym. And the reason for that is because shit that happens like this, where you get a pandemic and they close the gyms for obvious reasons. At least then I have that. I have enough equipment to
Yeah.
keep up with my goals, and because right now what I have is it's good, it's okay, but it's not really idealist. It's not ideal for what I need, and because I just have really just a barbell, and I have a couple dumbbells that I can. They're like the York. They're like the York.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah,
have to. Like the dumbbells. You literally have to take um, the weights, like the plates off, so it kind of sucks. Um,
yeah.
but and like I try to do like body weights and stuff, but even at that, like it's not like I said, it's not ideal for me. So I know once like my first day going back to the gym, I'm gonna be sore because I just know like it's
Yeah.
coming. So have you like I've seen a couple of your videos about working at home. I think it was the one when you moved. I think when you first moved back home, and I think you had like kind of like a gym set up in your basement.
Yeah.
So has that been pretty good for you? Like how has it been treating you?
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely a lot different, that's for sure, because you don't have all those different machines that are going to target and isolate different parts of your muscles.
100%.
So it's been like a lot of compound movement stuff. So, like I'm lucky I have a bench press because, bench press you can do more sets and everything to get more of a workout in. But if you don't have like the basics, it would be super hard. Like doing, 100 push-ups as your chest day is totally different than doing like incline, decline, flat, dumbbell flies, all that kind of stuff. But I'd say it hasn't been too bad because I do have a lot of actual weights, and they're the ones that you have there too, where you have to unscrew them and all that, which is a little tedious and annoying. Um, but it's been decent. Like you can do a lot of stuff just with dumbbells, and I probably have like almost 300 pounds worth of weight, so I can do a lot of the same stuff. I'd say the hardest group to work out though is probably legs, just because you don't have like leg extension, hamstring curl, squat rack, any of that stuff. So it's more of just like weighted lunges and just really trying to isolate movements and stuff, and it's a little hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty different. It's a little hard to stay motivated too because you're at home and like I don't really associate, hard workouts with my house. And it's almost like a mental battle to go down into the basement and just blast some music and do a really crammed in workout. Like there's a lot of stuff
Yeah.
in the basement, so it's a little hard to move, but it's been okay.
Well, I mean, hey, props to anybody that's still, trying to commit to getting some kind of a workout, even if it's not 100%.
Yeah.
Well, for me, like I try to, I try not to half-ass it. There's days where I do half-ass it,
Yeah.
especially for leg days because I only have so much. Like yeah, yeah, leg days are probably the hardest. I agree. I don't really have anything I can do other than lunges and whatever I can, anything I can come up with. But the real question is, how is your diet? Like, how are you doing with being bored and the diet?
I would say actually really good. I've just found I've had a lot more time to actually cook that good food because my biggest thing when like times were normal was meal prepping. I just didn't like because I hate eating non-fresh food. So during the pandemic, I can wake up, put my iPad by the stove, watch a show, cook some eggs, and make some good food that's nice and healthy and actually enjoy eating it fresh. So I'd say it's actually been a lot better, surprisingly. I thought I would just be binging Netflix and eating cake and ice cream and stuff, but it hasn't been the case, luckily. And yeah, it's been pretty decent. How's yours?
Um, it's I think the first week was actually not bad, and then the second and third week was really shitty, just because that's when it really hit me. And not that I, it's not that I really let myself go by any means, but I just it would be like, and also at the household too, like my parents are they're not hardcore fitness people. They're not
I feel
looking to
that.
be top notch shape right. So them, they're we have a we have like a student that lives with us. She's from South Korea. So for her,
Okay.
like she's a teenager, so they're baking cookies and got like jelly beans on the
Yep.
island and so it's like I would grab a couple jelly beans, I walk by, grab a couple, and then maybe like after my workout I grab a couple more just to get that sugar in, which isn't a bad thing, but like when I've already been doing it during the day, it's probably not the greatest for me.
Hmm.
Um, but the last couple of weeks, I've been really, getting back into like keeping it everything very structured and like I used to have like a personal coach, but I stopped doing that for a while just with the pandemic and everything kind of going on. I just kind of wanted to do my own thing and working out at home. I think it's a lot harder. So I just kind of stopped doing that, but I've been kind of maintaining what I would normally eat. So I pretty much eat the same thing every day, and it's boring, but for me, I know where it can take me. So it's kind of the mental aspect. You just keep doing the same thing that you're doing, and maybe I won't be like I would rather. Okay, so scratch that. I would rather be lose muscle and lose my fat than maintain what I have because like or if I could just maintain my muscle and keep cutting my fat, that'd be fine with me. Like I'm not worried about getting big because I know you're not going anywhere, and even at that I don't really care much. I just want to keep staying lean, and that's my main focus is staying lean, and
Yeah.
it's I guess for me it had the one thing that I will say I've been struggling specifically is not so much keeping my diet clean. It's about how like the macros. So for me, like because my workouts aren't as effective, so I'm not really doing a whole lot of like squatting and deadlifts. I'm not really doing the big workouts, that have really heavy days, and I don't really have a whole lot of heavy weights, so I'm doing more reps than anything. So I don't feel like I'm getting. Not every workout do I feel like I'm getting like that. Like I just got my ass kicked kind of feeling. So
Yeah.
I try to certain days I'll um, try to cut carbs. Sometimes I try to cut certain things just according to how my workouts are because if I just maintain what I'm doing, I feel like I'm eating more than I should, or I'm
Yeah.
eating more of certain macros that I shouldn't be having. So that's kind of the challenging part that I'm having right now. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's how I feel.
Yeah. Um, I'd say kind of along the same thing, like trying to minimize the carbs a little bit just because like me personally, I'm not really moving as much. Like yes, I go for walks and I'll work out and everything, but you take work out of the equation where I'm walking and taking, 8 to 10,000 steps a day, take that right out, you're burning a lot less calories. And I'm not gonna lie, I do watch a lot more Netflix and stuff, so I'm very, very sedentary. So I don't want to like overdo the carbs because if I'm not burning a lot of calories, it's just gonna tack on as fat eventually. And I know, just like you said, like if your family doesn't eat super healthy, it's a lot harder. Um, like my family, for example, like almost everything comes in a box. They drink juice, they drink pop, they drink, everything that I normally wouldn't. And it's hard because, in my opinion, if it's in the fridge, I'm gonna eat it because
Yeah.
it's like right there, right? If they go buy a coffee cake, I'm having, two slices. If they buy
Oh yeah.
ice cream, I'm eating the ice cream. They make pizza, it's pizza night. Like, it's harder like that, but it also teaches you the discipline, I think, comes from food tracking. So if you track your food and you're like, okay, let's put a whole pizza in there, and then you see the numbers and you're like, okay, maybe not, or maybe just like one slice. But I agree, it's a lot harder to manage when you're living with people who don't eat the same way.
Oh, 100%. Like I said, my parents aren't the biggest. They're not biggest gym or fitness fanatics by any means. But my dad's 60 and my mom is getting there. It's getting close to 60. So they are, they try to they try to look after themselves and trying to stay healthy. Like my dad, he's trying to get back in shape. My dad always tells me like I try to push my dad a little bit just to I know I'm aware my dad's 60, but I do try to just if you had a a buddy go into the gym with you that day and say you're doing bench press and you just want him to get that last rep in, kind of like that.
Yeah.
And I just try to help my dad out and try to help him with the mindset more than anything. Um, but with him, when my parents, they were going to the gym like every day, and um, with that, it was really hard on them. Uh, but sorry, I lost my train of thought there. I don't
It's
know,
all good.
forgot where I was going, but
Yeah.
yeah,
You're
like
looking after them. You're
they're
looking after them.
with them, they're just okay. Now I remember what I was gonna say. So with my parents, like as much as they're gym goers and they went to the gym every day, now that they're kind of staying home more, they're kind of not eating. Like my parents, so they will eat certain things. Like they made this chicken soup yesterday, and they're like, hey, you can have some if you want. And I'm like, okay, thank you. Great. But I'm looking in there, and it's like I think when people don't understand how important your diet is and how strict it comes down to when you really want to get to that top notch shape, like so in the soup it was chicken, which is great, but they had like noodles, and that's when it comes out of package, that's all, it's not very good carbs.
Yeah.
um they had like the noodles, and yeah, they had vegetables in it, but you still have like all that sodium from like the broth and everything. So with that, like, yeah, and I had to explain, like, I've had to explain to them so many times, like, with certain foods, like, yeah, like, it seems like it could be healthy, but really, when it comes down to it all, it's not healthy for me. Um,
Yeah.
like, would it be better than, piping down a couple bologna sandwiches? Yeah, of course, but it's still not for me, for my goal. If I started out and I was like 250 pounds and I wanted to get down to 160, and I just did cardio and kind of ate better, yeah, you're gonna drop the pounds because your body's in shock and it's just gonna keep dropping, and especially if you're cutting your carbs, et cetera, et cetera. But for me, like now I'm at that point where I've done all that, and now it's that bitter, gritty, got to get that last bit of fat and get those gains. So for me, like I have to eat so strict just to get through that
Yeah.
threshold, I guess.
Yeah. Like I agree. Like you definitely gotta watch what you're eating and everything. And I think the almost like the grocery shopping aspect just comes from a place of not being aware what the foods actually do to you. So I think if I got my parents to like sit down and read a nutrition book or something, they would maybe look at it a little bit differently, hopefully. But coming from a person with a nutritional background and personal trainer and all that, I know what that food's doing to them. And they're just like, oh, like it's fine. We're saving money, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you could subtract the money that you're spending on the bad stuff and put it towards some good stuff. So, for example, the juices, right? Like 30 grams of sugar in a little cup, not really the best. And let's say that costs them like $3, $4, put that $3, $4 towards something else. And, you could play around with the groceries like that. But feeding a large family, it's more of just like buy in bulk, a bunch of pizzas, some chicken strips, whatever. But I do my own groceries just because of that. I have to go on my own and just pick everything that I want, put it in a separate section just to keep that consistency. Just because I don't want to fall into the chicken strips, chicken nuggets, fries,
Yeah.
hamburgers lifestyle. Because otherwise, I'm coming out of the quarantine a totally different person. So,
Well, I don't know if you've seen like a lot of the memes and stuff like that on Facebook, but there was so many that there was the picture. It was Arnold and I can't remember. I think Carl Weathers from the Predator movie, and I think this is like it's a scene where he says, "Dylan, you son of a bitch," and they're like, so they come together and they're like, I don't know, they're just shaking hands, but they're both obviously jacked at
yeah.
that scene. And in the scene, but like they crop the picture, and make it so it says like after the apocalypse is over, it has like the two guys like shaking hands, but like their muscles,
Yeah.
they're like all like just skin and bone,
Oh,
because
man.
like
That's
they think that
jokes.
everyone's gonna lose their gains. And
That's hilarious.
yeah, and I've seen other ones like people like just ones of like people saying like, going back to the gym and everyone's gonna have no gains, and everyone's gonna
It's
be
going to
like
be a sad
overweight.
day, man.
I
That's going to be sad.
no man, I think that like when because I switched gyms, so I went from Performance 360 and now I'm at Fit Plus. I think when I go back to
Okay.
Fit Plus, it's already a madhouse there, like on any given Sunday.
Yeah.
But now with everything coming back, I guarantee the first day it's just gonna be swamped. I don't even know if I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
And if
man.
I do, I will sacrifice my sleep
Yeah.
just to get in and
Yeah.
know that I will get access to whatever I want.
Yeah. Some midnight workouts for a little bit.
Hmm. But
Yeah, I've seen some pretty funny memes too. Like I like TikTok, I don't know if you have or not, but there's a lot of videos like it'll be someone like all jacked and everything, and then they'll get like their little brother as the next scene as the post quarantine. So
yeah,
it's pretty funny. And then the t-shirt shrinking ones, it'll be like your t-shirts fit all nice on your arms and all that, and then they're just like super baggy by the end of it, which the sad reality is a lot of people are going to have to go through something like that, and it's going to cause a lot of negativity looking in the mirror a lot at the gym. But I think everyone's going to be a lot more health conscious hopefully after this whole thing happens, because of like having a good immune system fights this virus and all that. And I'm hoping everyone wants to be healthy, so best case scenario. But
well, and I think, and it's not just people going back to the gym. So people's memberships will resume, and they'll put them, and people will start getting charged again. But I don't even think it. Not just we had the people that normally went to the gym that were gym goers, but you're gonna see like you're gonna see so many more people.
oh yeah,
It'll be like people joining in January. You're gonna see
yeah, I
such
agree.
broad range of people join the gym because they want to get fit and healthy. Like they're tired of sitting at home, and
Yep,
I think it'll give them enough motivation to say, okay, I'm tired of sitting on my ass and putting on the weight. Why don't I just go to the gym? So you're gonna see more of that fluctuation for sure.
yep.
But yeah, when you were saying about the whole thing about the negativity, does that bother you that people like do that in the mirror, or do you
Uh,
in your own business, or is
it's.
it
I mean, like, I don't really know how to answer that. I think it's like I'm probably gonna be one of those people, because like before the whole pandemic, I think I was in pretty decent shape. So like seeing your body in like one of its prime conditions and then going back and seeing like something totally different in the mirror, because yes, my training hasn't been as consistent, haven't lifted as much, haven't had as good of workouts. So I think a lot of people are going to have that mental battle of like, the people that were in pretty good shape before, they're going to have that mental battle of looking at the mirror and being like, whoa, like I'm back to square one, or I've been, a few steps back and everything. And, you know, hopefully they have a lot of positivity coming into the gym, not just like open the door, scan and do what you want kind of thing. Like hopefully a lot of people are encouraging people to work out and exercise and have like some incentives, some giveaways, prizes, stuff like that, just to get everyone motivated to work out again, because things are going to be different. Like something I'm really curious about is like dumbbells. Like if I go use a dumbbell and put it back, like is someone going to have to like wipe that down or something, or do I wipe it down and they trust they did a good job? Like I don't know
yeah,
what's really going to happen, but I'm just really hoping they push a lot of positivity towards actually exercising again, and hopefully that's the case as well. But
yeah, no, yeah, like that's just it's gonna be interesting. Like I think it's when it because I've heard so many different rumors about them opening up, like certain like the bigger name gyms are gonna open up in June, or they're gonna open up in July, or they're gonna open up. Like I heard one, it was like May 30th or something. It was insane.
yeah,
Um, but I don't really believe it's gonna be that quick. I
yeah,
could see them because now that we've known a lot more how the virus works and how it gets transmitted, I could see things if because Ontario is obviously opening up more and more. So if they were to open up the gyms, I think I still be really hesitant to go. Um, because it's not so much like it's like driving. Like you can be a great driver. You don't worry so much about your driving. You're worrying about everybody else. So when you're
exactly.
going to the gym, you wipe down everything. Well, what's to say that you went and grabbed a dumbbell and then you're left in, then you wipe it down and then you touch your face? How do you know that that person didn't wipe it down and then now you just
Yeah,
got exposed, right? So for things
exactly.
like
It's
that,
weird.
yeah, like so for things like that, that makes me nervous. But I mean, all you can do is you just wipe your hands, just don't touch yourself, and or don't touch your face.
Yeah, not at the gym.
Yeah, no, 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 no. but don't touch your face, etc., etc. And I think you'll be okay. So I'm pretty excited. I've heard about things like Good Life saying that they possibly might open in June, July. So I got another month or two maybe to wait.
Yeah.
I'm
I heard something online that you might even like this is probably a total rumor, but
right.
I saw something that you might have to like schedule your workouts or something like that just to control flow. Like I could see that being a good idea, but at the same time, like everyone's gonna go for the morning and then like dinner time, right? Like no one's really gonna go for midnight, 1 a.m., whatever. Everyone's gonna go prime time, which I don't know if this is actually going to happen because, if say they don't do a scheduling system, that's essentially as like back to normal, but nothing's going to be back to normal because if you have like 200 people go in that open, the sanitation issues and all that might be up there. So I could see this scheduling thing being an actual thing, but at the same time, not really sure.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be interesting. I think every gym's gonna have it a little bit different. Um, Other people, like people that I've talked to, have said like they've said if I were to open up a gym, this is what I would do. I've had other people tell me things like, well, what if they, say if you have a couple of stairmasters and you could easily say, okay, we won't have one operating, one in the middle, and then the other two people can use. So if you have three, just take the one out of the middle, and then you can spread people apart that way. Or if you have the ellipticals and you have three or four, well, take out the two in the middle to keep people apart. So I could kind of see that happening, which is pretty logical, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
And same goes for the treadmill, and maybe like for the trying to think, like trying to think here. The lifting bars, the squat racks. That's what I was trying to
Oh,
think.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The squat racks. Like I can see it. Like they'll have like a sign saying, "Please wipe down after using." Like I said, that's pretty logical to me. And I think that's probably what will happen if they do open up the gyms. But at this point,
Yeah,
it's pretty sketchy. You never really, you can't really tell.
yeah.
You really don't know
It's a
what direction
weird.
Ontario is going to go in. So
Yeah, like I could see it going two ways. Like I could see it being like, okay, be responsible, clean it. But then I could also see the other argument of the other people being like, okay, well, how do I know that this stranger or whoever wiped it down, you know, thoroughly enough for me to actually use it again? So I don't know if maybe the janitors and stuff will be trained a different way. Like, someone uses the dumbbell, you have to go clean it, something like that. It's gonna be interesting day one for sure.
yeah, yeah. I mean, even if you had the people that are working at the gym, like people that work at the front desk or whatever, like for example, the gym that I go to, Fit for Less, I don't think that they have any trainers there. So you could easily have the people working at the front desk. They could easily go around and, excuse me, they could make their rounds more often and just go and spray. Just maybe if they had like it's like a aerosol, like aerosol,
Oh, yeah,
Lysol,
yeah,
just spray all the handles of the dumbbells and just go around and maybe they have to wear a mask. Like that'd be
yeah.
ideal. Um, Now whether they're gonna ask people you only can come in the gym if you wear a mask, I don't think that's really gonna make a whole lot of sense. Like, I mean, can you just imagine you're doing like you're doing like 120% workout and you're
Yeah,
huffing and you gotta wear a mask.
yeah. Your mask's gonna be soaked, man.
Yeah, like
It's gonna be gross.
your face is gonna be red just from all the heat.
Yeah, just put a
Like,
VO2 max on or VO2 max mask on all the time, and you're good.
oh god, I don't know. I couldn't imagine. I've seen when the gym was up and running. I've seen a couple of people that are like boxers or they're like MMA fighters, and I seen him one guy. He was on the treadmill and he's gunning. I mean, like he's going like level, like the speed was probably 10 and it was like
Oh wow.
level like 2 or 3, and this guy's just gunning it and he's got one of those masks on it to
Yeah,
suppress your breathing to help you're breathing harder than you actually are, so when you go and you fight, like it pretty much it helps you with your cardio. But I've seen
yeah,
guys just gun and I'm I like man, like I hate doing hit cardio, so I can
yeah,
only imagine. But hey, I mean, you got to do what you got to do to prepare for a fight or your training.
Yeah,
whatever
exactly.
you're doing. But like I don't know, like it's right now I'm trying not to think about going to the gym at the moment because until they say something, I really don't want to hype myself up too much because
Yeah.
then it just makes me think about it more and more. But yeah, so obviously we kind of talked about working out at home and stuff, and you kind of touched upon how your workouts are going. So what is your fitness goal right now? Is it just to maintain what you have, or are you trying to bulk, or are you just trying to cut? What's your game plan?
Uh, I'm kind of like in a in between area right now because I'm like, okay, I could just lower my body fat percentage, try to hit like, 7, 8, 9%, look really lean and everything, and just maintain that because I'm in that spot where I'm like, I don't really know if I want to compete in the future or if I just want to be like in good shape for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of there right now. So I'd say my goal, like right now, the short term goal is just get to that 7, 8, 9% body fat, just to get really lean, and I can post content on the fitness channel and look good and everything. And I think it would just be a good maintenance phase. And then maybe down the road, I'm only 22, right? So most people compete when they're like 25, 26.
Yeah.
So if I want to go that route, then I could just, hire a coach and just go that route. But for now, I'd say probably just lowering the body fat percentage and just, getting a little bit more size. Like I want to maybe put on maybe another 10 pounds ish roughly.
Okay.
So I'd say maybe 3 years. I could probably do that 2, 3 years. And then in the future, who knows? No idea.
Right. Well, I know that's good. I always thought about doing like the bodybuilding shows. Like I'm 25 now, so
Yeah.
it's not to say that I couldn't do it. I would have to be in a lot better shape. Like, yeah, I've gotten in better shape, probably the best of my life. But I mean, I still have lots of work to go. Like I would have a lot of fat to cut. So I've been open to it. I just don't think with the work and the lifestyle I have, I just don't think it's idealistic for me right now. I'm not, I don't try to make any excuses because there's not. I mean, everybody has something, right? Like every
Yeah.
every bodybuilder that you see out there, I'm sure, isn't just sitting at home and then working out 4 or 5 hours a day. That just everyone's got to work, right? So I
Yeah.
don't tend to try to make excuses, but I mean, I like seriously though, like I do have, when everything was normal, I like yeah, I still get like 2.5, 3 hour workouts, which were great workouts. But like even at that, like, so for example, I could give you like an average day. So I work more like afternoons. So let's say in the morning, I wake up at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. I go and I eat my either breakfast or pre-workout meal, hit the gym, do 2 or 3 hours of work. Then I go and say I might, let's say it's not community living, but it could be easily one of my other contracts. So I might do a contract here and do that for a couple hours. Then I have to bolt it, grab my meals, and then run to my other contract. And the work that I do,
Hmm.
it's not like I'm sitting down. A lot of times with one of the kids I work with, I do more like activities and stuff like that. So for example, I could be playing basketball with them. So like I don't mean to sound selfish, but it's harder to find time to sit down and be able to eat. Um, so with that, it's a lot harder. So I got to ask myself, do I really want that? Do I really want it
Yeah.
that bad to go through all that, or do I just keep doing what I'm doing? And I guess for me right now, it's I would like to have the goal of looking like I'm getting prepared for a show, but I wouldn't want to be like full scale,
Yeah.
veins popping everywhere and
Yeah.
full muscle and six
Yeah.
percent body fat kind of look. No, I don't think I really want that right now. But I like to kind of get to maybe like 12%, something like where I have like a basic, I guess. Trying to think of someone that you might know, like a Chris Hemsworth kind of body. Like
Yeah.
he's
Like
lean, but he's not
he's not
insane
like
like.
freaky. He's not like
Oh, he's
Hugh
not freaking
Jackman
no.
Wolverine.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was about to say. It's funny that we were both like thinking. Trying to think I can't think the actor, but yeah, the guy that plays Wolverine. I mean, that guy. I don't know. Have you ever seen? Yeah, it's Hugh Jackman. Have you ever seen Hugh Jackman when he's not preparing for that role. He's like
Oh yeah, average Joe.
he's just like, and I'm not that he's overweight by any means, but he's just slender. And then you see
Oh
him
yeah,
get ready for these movies in like I think like 12 weeks. I heard. I think it's like
yeah.
12 weeks, and he's like he went from like the modern day citizen to like the guy that you don't want to fuck with. You don't want to pay this. You
Oh
don't want to
yeah,
help this man anymore.
100%. Yeah, man. Hard, like what, 4 hour workouts every day for 12 weeks, some steroids, some protein shakes, and you're golden. Some baby oil too, and there you go.
Well, I don't know if he was taking steroids, but um, you know, you gotta wonder if some actors would risk taking steroids just to get in for a role. Like
Yeah.
I know that I remember watching the documentary. I don't know if you know the show Spartacus. Um, it was
Oh,
on Netflix for a while, a year or two ago. The last season ended maybe 2015, 2016. Um, yeah, because I think the show came out when I was about 16, maybe. I was about maybe 16. So it's kind of old now. Now that I really think
mm-hmm.
about it. Um, but yeah, like the guys that had to get ready to play as like the gladiators, like the slave army. They show the training not just the guys had to do, but the women had to do too. So they would do a lot of like, it looked like kind of like CrossFit kind of training.
Yeah.
But they would like train like 3 or 4 hours a day, and then they obviously they didn't have to pay for it, but they had like trainers that would do like they have guys. These trainers that come in, say, okay, here, now you're gonna eat now. Now you're gonna eat this, and you can look at the actors and actresses' faces, and they're like, oh my,
Yeah.
if they're not used
Yep.
to treating their body like that. Like maybe they could stay in shape, but I mean, like the women already kind of looked like they're in shape, but like the guys are like looking around like they're gonna puke because they just destroyed 4 hour hard workout that's so hard on your body, and then they go and they have to eat all this food and then go back at it again. Like
Yeah,
uh,
it's crazy what they do to transform for those roles. It's nuts.
I know, and it's so unrealistic. But I wish I could just just like that, just like Thanos, just snap my fingers and
Yeah.
I'm so muscular the next day. But
Yeah.
it's like I think with that, like it's kind of it reminds me of people who um, like people tend to watch videos or people tend to watch training videos of actors or actresses and they look at that and say, oh wow, they got that bulk or they got that fit in 12 weeks or 12 to 16 weeks. Wow, how did they do that? And it's like it's not. I guess when I said it was unrealistic, I'm not saying it's completely unrealistic, but it's unrealistic for the modern day citizen because
Yeah.
we don't have that
100%.
kind of time to do that. Most people have to work, and they have to work so much to support themselves. And then if they got that time, they can work out and they have to do all those things. Where these actors, they don't. That's their job for the first month or two is they just have to do that. And
Yeah.
it is motivating, but it's also unrealistic too. And it's I don't like to use this comparison too much, but it's like people watching porn and they think that's real and that's like they think that
Yeah.
shit's
Yeah.
real and it's like
Yeah.
don't and people
100%.
get
Yeah.
unrealistic expectations. Actually, it's really interesting. If you watch this documentary, there's something that touches upon and it's not so much pornography, but it's more like it touches upon that, but it touches upon like movies and how people look at actors and people. It actually causes a lot of mental illness because people, either they whether it affects their sex lives or affects their relationships or affects like just their mental health in general, and how they watch these people do things and they think that that's so realistic, but a lot of times it's not, and it impacts people's mental health. It's insane.
Absolutely, man. It's just like Instagram and everything when people are posting pictures of like
Oh,
Ferraris or traveling, and everyone's like, okay, my life sucks. I'm at work and I go to bed and then I wake up and go to work. And it's just like you're watching like the top 1% of the 1%. So
mm-hmm.
you can't just like compare your life to that because, first off, most of them started where you are right now, right? Like they worked a regular job, they went to bed, they went to work, same kind of cycle, and then they got there. But a lot of people, what they do is they're like, I want to be there right now, and then they see all that, and then they're depressed and upset, and it's just the negative side of social media. I would say is just like, you're following all those pages because you don't want to follow like the average Joe. You want to follow the like great and grand, amazing stuff. And then when you constantly see that all day, every day, and you're watching shows about people, going on planes and stuff and enjoying their life, and then you think, okay, my life sucks and just sitting here watching this. But at the same time, you got to realize like it's totally different.
Oh yeah, like 100%. How do you feel in? There's a lot of mixed messages about that. So you're mentioning Instagram and people, you get that top 1% of that 1% doing whatever they're doing. How do you feel in this? And I don't want to make this a bit of a sexual subject, but how do you feel about? I guess there's men too, but how do you feel about like those Instagram models? And I guess, and I'm including men as well. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like props to them for doing it, or do you feel like how do you view that as a good thing, negative thing? Because I've heard a lot of people saying like, wow, they really don't have to work hard at it, but you really don't know what those people are going
I would say the just on that last point there, like they don't work hard aspect, like the thing is it looks easy because like some of these people are getting paid, 10 grand plus to post a square picture on the internet on Instagram.
through. Yeah,
So, I can see how a lot of people would think like, grabbing your phone, posting a picture, boom, you made $10,000, which is what some people make in like 6 months. I can see that, but you have to realize, I would say like, I don't know the exact percentage, but I would say a lot of people had to get their, way to that spot. So, like they probably started out working a regular job and then they're trying to build their social media and everything. And a lot of people don't realize like just building your online profile takes a lot of time. And I like to compare it with like my YouTube or Instagram or whatever with like a stock portfolio, right? Like you don't just buy one stock and now you're a millionaire. Well, some cases that could happen, but I think of everything as like a stock portfolio now. The more you put into it, normally the more you get out of it. So those
100.
people probably had to post, dozens and dozens and dozens of pictures to even get to the point where they're making money online. Same thing with YouTube. A lot of people look at YouTubers and be like, okay, this guy plays Call of Duty and makes $15 million a year. Like you got to realize this guy plans out his content, scripts stuff, films it, edits it, does everything on his own, doesn't get paid for the first 2 years of starting it. And like it takes a lot more work. Like I was one of those people, I was like, okay, YouTube's super easy. I can just be rich and post videos. And now I'm like, okay, not really. I got to actually script my videos, edit, learn different editing techniques, put money into it, and, market it and edit and all that stuff. There's just a lot more behind the scenes. So I can see like both sides of the argument, like people get paid from a picture or video. Okay, yeah, but it also has a lot of work behind the scenes that you don't see. Where in a traditional job, you see like all of that work, and that's why you get paid based off of that work and the hourly rate and everything.
Right.
Um, but yeah, like props to them. If you can grow your presence in the world and make money from it, cool. I would prefer if it actually has like a positive impact and everything, but it's cool if you want to flash off the Lambo and make money from it, like no problem with me.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, I agree with you. And now that it reminds me, so if you feel comfortable telling me, but so with your podcast channel, and I'm just gonna kind of I'm gonna talk about the Austin Medz channel.
Yeah.
I noticed that you got quite a amount of followers, or not followers, but like subscribers. I mean, we're talking about Instagram. No,
Yeah.
but with YouTube, how did what's your secret, or how did you gain so many subscribers, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I'll start at this point, I guess. So I would say my channel only like really started this year, and in particular, like 3 months ago. Like yes, I had probably like 80, 90 videos before that time frame, but I would say this is the 1 year and specific time frame that I actually took it serious. So like I said, in the last month, my views went up like 112%, subscribers are up 111%. So if you were to look at my analytics, like everything up until 3 months ago was just kind of like stagnant, just plateau, whatever. And since the pandemic, I've posted probably 6 times more than I normally do, and all the numbers just skyrocketed up.
Right.
But I would say like the secret sauce to how I did that was just consistency. Because if you look at my upload schedule, like if you were to go on my channel, you would see like my videos would be like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 11 months ago, 10 months ago, 8 months ago. Like there's just huge gaps.
Okay.
And what I started doing was like, okay, if I want this to be my career, make money, make an impact, and have fun doing this whole thing, I need to be consistent. I can't be
Right.
posting a video every month and a half and expect to just boom magically have 200K subscribers.
Right.
So since I started doing that whole consistency thing, like I have a content calendar is what I call it. So I like schedule everything in there, like one video every Monday on the Austin Medz channel, the Austin Talks channel. That one I'm a little more free flowing with because it's based off like products and creative videos. So I can't really schedule that because like let's say a new product comes out on a Thursday but my upload schedule is like a Tuesday, it just wouldn't really make sense. So
Yeah.
that one I just kind of play off of time, I guess, but I normally post like 1 or 2 videos a week on that channel. And that's what really helped grow. uh, just because if you're not consistent, you're just kind of playing it by chance. You're like, okay, a video I posted 2 years ago might get some traction and then my subscribers will go up. But if you're constantly putting out content every single week, then, that growth just happens a lot faster for you because you have more content out there. And um, I guess it comes back to that stock portfolio analogy that I was using. Like the
Hmm.
more you put in, the more you get out. And that's what I started doing, and that's where I've started to see that success. So that's what's worked for me so far.
Well, that's great. That's kind of where I'm at. Like that's kind of what I'm trying to do right now. Um, as you know, like I do like a lot of tribute videos, going back
Yeah.
to having more time to do it. So that's been kind of helping me with the pandemic, helping me have more time to work on my videos. Like, I know you suggested for me to do the Iron Man video, which I'm glad you did because it turned out so well.
Yeah, it
But
was good.
so I posted it on Facebook and then I posted it on YouTube and YouTube, oh my god, like it just boils my blood because like it just makes my blood boil because so I had everything on there, and of course it was all copyright, right? Like
Yeah.
that's just
Yeah.
what happens when you do videos like that. And I'm not looking to get it monetized or not looking to make any money. I just want to put content out there to entertain people. That's what I do. I like to
Yep.
entertain, and of course, so I made the clips when I was doing the video. When you watch the video, I do everything very quickly, so they can't track where the content's coming from. So there can't be any copyright claims, so they can't block your video. But
Hmm.
but there was a part in the video. It was part because it was from the end game file, and they tracked I think just almost a minute of this one part of the video, and they because of that they blocked my video. I'm like, fuck you, because
Yeah,
like
man.
I worked so hard on that video. It took me a while. Like it actually didn't take me long to do, but I put a lot of work into it,
Hmm.
and I was so upset because I didn't like when I put the videos on Facebook. I put it out there to entertain people, but that's not really my focus. I'm putting more on YouTube to get the subscribers. Um, and when that happened, I was so upset. So for me, that's really a gamble, and that's
Yeah.
I guess that's what I'm working on is trying to put more content out more frequently. But more, I care more about doing my podcast, where there I don't have any copyright material, so I can actually
Hmm.
possibly, in the near future, maybe get more subscribers and maybe have a deal with you too. And maybe not even at that, but maybe get to the point where you're at, where you're getting a lot more subscribers, you're getting a lot more, you're getting your name more out there. So that's kind of my focus. Have you ever had any? Because I've seen a couple of your videos, and I correct me if I'm wrong, but you had some music in the background, maybe in a couple of them. I could be wrong. Um,
Yeah.
So for that,
Um,
how do you get past that with the copyright issue?
Yeah, so that was a big issue with me. Like right when you said that your video got flagged and blocked, that happened
Yeah.
a lot. Because what I was originally doing, I think like maybe 6 months ago, something like that, I would just go on YouTube, copyright free music, download that, put it on the
Mhm.
video, good. But the thing that happens sometimes is the artist, after it starts being a little more prominent on people's videos, they're going to be like, okay, they're going to claim that, and then they'll just take the monetization from you. So what I found was this thing called epidemic music. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's
Epidemic music.
yeah, give it a search. It's basically like
Just gonna put it
a
in here. So once we're done, I'm gonna
yeah,
epidemic.
it's like a hub where you can get background music and songs and different types of audio that you can put in your videos and actually monetize it. So they'll allow you to monetize it.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like a yeah, it's like a subscription based thing. So I pay like $15 a month and I get access to like thousands of songs, and then I don't have to worry about my videos being flagged or anything. And then they're all really good quality, so I can like play around, find the song. It'll You can go by mood. If it's You can go by like beats per minute. You can go super in depth with all the audio. And I
Okay.
think that was the one thing that I had to work on a lot with the videos, was just the actual audio. And I found that website, and there we go.
That's sweet, man. Well. I appreciate you showing that because I'm going to definitely gonna check that out. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, and that's kind of like I get it. I know that because YouTube just doesn't want to be sued for things like that. I get that. But if they could just realize, like, because I put on all my videos, like at least the tribute videos, I put in like made for pure entertainment, no copyright infringement intended. But they don't give a shit. They don't. They if they see
Yeah.
something that they can grab, they just it is what it is. I get it. It's frustrating, but I'm glad to hear that things for you are going a lot better. And are you still having issues with copyright, or is that not a problem?
Nope. With the epidemic thing, like basically like you pay for that subscription, right? And then
Okay.
any time during the subscription, you can post as many videos as you want, and they just never get flagged.
Oh,
So
okay.
like you pay the $15, you use as much music, audio, whatever you want to use. And then when you end this subscription, you actually still monetize those videos too, which was really, really cool.
Okay.
But like the only way it wouldn't work is basically like, say I make a video today, I have my subscription, everything's good. Awesome, I can monetize it. But if I cancel my subscription, let's say tonight, and I post a video tomorrow using their music, and then they will claim the monetization.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see the
yeah,
game there. So
yeah,
monetizing, how does that work? So say you post a video, say you post a video right now.
yeah.
Um, so for that, how so what does that basically do? So say okay, you make the video, you post it, and you press monetize. So what's that gonna do for you? Like what does that essentially do for your channel?
Yeah, so since Google owns YouTube, they're both search engines. So a lot of people, like, let's say I want to search how to start a podcast. If I
Yeah.
go into Google and I search it, first things that pop up are normally videos because they own YouTube. So
Okay.
YouTube is basically linked to Google. And then Google is the biggest ad agency in the world. So what they do is they'll play ads. Normally at the beginning of the video, you can choose if you want it at the middle or the end, but normally it's at the beginning. And then you'll receive basically compensation for actually putting the ad on your video.
Oh,
So yeah, so with that being said, like it's cool because like I was saying, 3 years ago I could post a video, but if someone watches it today and there's an ad, I get paid from the ad. So it's really, really cool like that. And that's just like one way of making money on YouTube. You can sell your own brand merchandise, you can get sponsorship videos. Like since my channel's been getting a lot more traction, I've had a lot of companies message me like, hey, would you do a sponsored video or mention our product at the beginning of the video, that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of money making opportunities on there, but the best part is that it's passive. That was my biggest thing. And that's how the monetization works really. Like you watch the video, if there's an ad, I get paid a little bit, and that's pretty much it.
that's sweet, man. Sorry, I don't mean to, kind of ray out here, but we're kind of coming up on time here. So I just wanted to thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure, man.
Yeah,
I've been
thank you.
wanting to do a podcast for a long time with you, but it was just with, and more like when before everything happened, I really wanted to have you come over and do one, but I know like with everything going on, we both get busy, right? So,
Absolutely, yeah.
you know, it's been great, man. It's been a pleasure. I'd be more than happy to have you on again.
Yeah, man. Maybe next time it'll be in person too. You never
Yeah,
know.
well, we're gonna see. We'll see what world's gonna bring us. But as of right now, we're we still got to do
Yeah.
these online. So,
Oh yeah.
but anyway, man, I hope you take care. You stay safe out there, and we'll talk soon, man.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.